Hello, happy Friday to you all. This is Carlos with Anime Your Way, and this is live stream number 15. And today we are going to be going over some action poses from the very popular anime show, My Hero Academia. So what we're going to do is start off with a cellophane paper, or if you have tracing paper at home and you have something like this or a computer screen, you can just put a tracing paper on there and try it yourself. This is, of course, just for practice to get an understanding of how the character is constructed so you can kind of replicate that later. So what I'm going to do is put this board forward a little bit. Sorry for the late start today. I had some technical issues. I'm exploring how to use Zoom to make these live streams so I can use this camera as well as a second camera where I'm drawing in real time with a pencil and paper, and you can see that while I'm doing it and explaining it at the same time. So hopefully next week I'll have that set up and then I can have a two camera production. So that would be awesome. All right, so let me move this a little bit forward to the camera here. Oh, so you can see. I'm gonna move my chair out of here so I can come here from the side. Okay, so what we're gonna do is put cellophane paper over this. Let me turn the camera a little bit. There you go. That's better. Okay. And then I'm going to deconstruct where all the shapes are. And I like to do this. It's fun. And the more I do it, the more I start seeing different patterns. And of course, that's how you start learning. When you get to recognize certain patterns and you know how to replicate those patterns in different, in different views, different positions, that's when you can start creating some original content, original designs for characters. Sorry, I'm looking for my marker here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let me move some of this stuff here that's in my way. And if you are joining us, this is Anime Your Way, live stream 15, I believe, and we are going over some action poses from My Hero Academia. So what I'm going to do is first find the circle inside the shape of the face, and that's usually at the edges of the jawline out here by the ear and over here. And you can kind of figure out, the distance from here to here. If you did that same distance straight up through the middle of the face, you might have the top of the head maybe out here somewhere, and the bottom of that circle maybe down around here. And you can kind of imagine where you can create that circle. And I'm going to adjust it as I go. So it's a little too flat at the bottom. I might bring it down just a little bit more. And that looks not too bad, not too bad. We're not looking for perfect, just good enough. We're just trying to have an understanding of how this is all constructed. Next thing we're gonna do is draw a line straight down through that circle, right down the middle. Now, because our character is looking directly at us, it works perfectly. If our character was looking out to the side, then we change all these lines here. And next week, I'm gonna go over how to draw a front view of an anime character's face looking up, down, and straight at you. So that way you can kind of, learn that, and then we'll go on to the three-quarter view probably the following week. All right, so from here, I'm gonna create the edges, the jawline into the chin line into the jawline on both sides. The ears, probably around here, half of a heart for each ear. And we know the top of the eyeballs right there. You can draw in the eyeballs, and that's just below the ears. And that looks like that's usually where the eyes are, right below the middle line in the middle of the circle there. So right below that would be where the eyes are, and then you could draw the eyelids around it, and the mouth down here, and then the nose right on that circle there at the bottom. Let me get another piece of tape. This is moving a little too much. Okay. Then we're going to go down and draw the neck from basically under each eyeball, 1, 2, and we'll work on this the thing around his collar secondly. But first, we're gonna go on to the shoulders. So here's the edge of the shoulder, and as you know, I like to think of the shoulders as circles. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this edge here and think of that as the edge of the circle, and we have a circle right around there. So it's not too large. It might even be a little bit wider at this angle here. That looks a little bit better. Then the other circle, we can see the edge here. So let's turn that into a circle that's about the same size as that. And we know that hinging in between the two shoulders, we have the rib cage. The chest area. So we're going to draw a collar that we will erase later. But usually at the bottom of that collar is where that circle for the chest or the torso is. And that usually comes around, and it's a little bit larger than the circle for the face. You can do either. You can use the same circle over and over again, same circle here, here, and for the hips, or you can use a slightly larger one for the chest. That gets tricky if you're not used to drawing circles in different sizes, but the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. And also if you have a circle guide, let me see if I have one here. I don't have one in front of me at the moment. If you have a circle guide, those are perfect to use for that, because then you can just use one circle for the head and then maybe two circle sizes up for the chest and the hips. Okay, so we can tell usually there's like a zipper or some line down the middle of the shirt. We can use that for the direction that the body is facing. So the body is facing this way. And then we have the third circle, and we use the bottom of the hips right around here somewhere where the legs come out from right there, and to the edges of the hips on this side and this side. And we're creating another circle. So this one looks kind of flat. I'm gonna move these dots up a little bit and then draw that circle a little bit higher up. It's not perfect, but that's not where we're going for. Oh, you know what? This one can move in. Sorry about that. This dot can move in here. That's what was off of this. There you go. That's better. So it does look like this circle and this circle are the same size, or pretty close to the same size. So you can get away with all three of them being the same size, or you can also, make one a little bit smaller for the head. Okay, so now we have the three main points: the head and shoulders, the chest, and the hips. So now we can define the way the body is positioned, and what gives this character this kind of sleek look, like he's ready to fight, but he looks cool about it, right? He's got a cool attitude about it. Is he's kind of leaning back a little bit, which kind of denotes confidence, right? Because he's not too worried about he's more worried about getting into the action of this battle or whatever he's doing, rather than how he's looking, right? So he's just more confident about the situation he's in. So what we're going to do is bring this side of the body inward, so it's compressing this way. So we're going to push it in that way. So we're going to go from the edge of this circle, we're going to bring it in a little bit, right into the middle here, where that's the stomach area, and then bring it out to the side of the bottom hip circle here. And for the for the other side of the body, the back part here, we're not going to start at the circle here for the chest. We're going to start a little bit behind it, and then swoop down. So it's almost curving the same way, this way and this way. And then that would land here. So that's showing that this is part of the back of the character, kind of rounding out back there. So it really looks like he's hunched over. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is start with the legs, because these are kind of easy to place. Remember the bottom of the circle here, we can draw a line kind of at this angle. Actually, the circle's moved over a little bit, right to here. Oh, that's what it was. Maybe we'll do that. Move this over a little bit. I just noticed it because the creases and that line for the zipper are down the middle through the belt here and then down this way. And it kind of curves inward because it is a ball, if you think about it, and it curves around behind it. Then we can start off with some wrinkles that go across here for the fabric. If you want to place the belt, that's towards the top of that circle for the hips. We can kind of design it now. We'll define it a little bit more when I draw it, on the board here for you. And then we're going to have from the edge of this circle, right below this pocket thing he has, just a line that kind of swoops out to the, to the right. And then we can kind of design the fabric or the costume on there. Same thing with this one. It just swoops out to the left and down. Same thing for that middle there. It's going to go, there's going to be a line from where this curve comes under, and then it kind of comes down the same way that this line comes out. So they're kind of parallel to that. And then from under there, that creates one solid line that goes from the leg into the bottom of the hips right here. And then from under there, you're going to underlap the other leg coming out at this angle. Now, when you erase everything, you're going to have the wrinkles that go across like that. And then right here on this side, where the character is facing this way, you're going to draw maybe one or two more wrinkles coming out, one this way, one a little bit lower. And I'll recreate that on the board here when I draw it larger. Okay, so now let's get into the arms. I like to start off with the hands first. I've seen some videos where some artists do this as well, and it works pretty well because it gives you more of a way to visualize the way the character is being posed. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in the shape of the hands, and I know from drawing over and over again, the usual shape if you're drawing a hand kind of rounded into a fist is you might have that line from the back of the hand, and then it would go right into the knuckle for the index finger. From there, you're going to kind of swoop down this way, almost like a triangle, and then bring the bottom kind of in, so it's kind of parallel to this line, and then back around, something like that. So it's almost like a trapezoid. And then you're going to draw a line that comes out 1, and then the second one here, you kind of space it out 2, and then a little lower, 3, a little more angle down, 4, and then you can start putting in the curves at the top, and then around. And then you can erase this whole edge and just kind of have them come up and kind of curve over a little bit for the knuckles. And then from under here, you just draw a bump that comes up and over. And then you can draw the thumb way over here at the top, coming over the first 2 fingers. And then from there, you could just kind of, draw the forearm like that. So that's a simple way to kind of create that curve for that fist. So you can even draw some knuckles right there like that. So we're going to recreate that in just a second. So here we go. We're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4. And then his forearm, the upper arm, is actually going to be more of a cylinder like this, like that. So it's going to start from right here around the wrist. It's going to come out this way. There's one line, you can see it there. The other one's up a little bit more, and then it rounds out over here. So you can imagine it's coming more of a circle than the length of it. You see more of a like this. So it's more of a circle, and then the fist will come out from there. Like that. And then when you erase it, then you have this forearm in perspective. And then you have the upper arm that just comes out from there, and it looks like it's connected to it. So again, just draw that upper arm up here and up here, 2 lines, and they should fit right into the edges of that circle here and here. I did the wrong one here. There you go. Okay. And of course, what's in front of it is maybe this, the shirt or the kind of outfit comes up over that. So from that circle, you start erasing the circle here, right? And you have all the designs here. Now the other hand's going to be here. And I like to start when hand is open like this. I start with the palm because you can see the curve here and the other curve right here. And usually you have the palm, you have the W there. And then if you have like the pinky here, oops, like that. That's when you can use that as a reference point. So this palm looks like a W that's kind of at an angle, and then it comes over and then back, right? So that's going to be something like this. The W, and then that way you could put in 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3, 4, and then of course a thumb here, and then the glove where it's connected to, something like that. That's a simplified version of it. We'll be doing something like that. So we have the fingers that come out. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's one way down here, I forgot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the thumb here, the edge of the glove, and then the rest of the forearm here. Again, looks like a tube, like a curve right there. And then from the top circle straight down this way, and you don't see the other one because it's behind the hand. And that's it. Then the rest is just putting in the details for the costume, this thing here, the design that goes around, and we've created a guide for a bald deku. So let's put the hair in there. So it looks like the main shapes of the hair, they go up over this eyeball. So it comes around this way and the back over. And then there's some hair right behind it, around it. And then it comes over to here, comes down, right? It's because he has a part in his hair that comes from this part to that part. On the other side, comes out like that. And then what we're going to do is create these spikes. 1, 2. Once you get the hang of how this works, you can have some fun with it and start creating different types of spikes. You don't have to copy exactly what is shown in the anime or manga. Because eventually that's how you build up your confidence in kind of creating these things to give them your own spin, right? Your creative decision making is what you work on when you do this kind of stuff. So don't worry too much about how it's going to look. Worry more about, if you can replicate it over and over again. So I got the basic idea for the pose right there. Okay. So now let's work on, what's her name? Ochako. Get some tape and put it on here. So in just a moment, once we get done with this, we're going to go ahead and start drawing it on the board. And next week, hopefully, I will have a great setup where I can draw on paper and pencil, and you can see me drawing there in a separate screen, which I'm hoping to put together this week, or during this weekend. So, all right. So here we have tracing paper, or cellophane paper in my case. Let me move this over a little bit. I have to get a new chair. I have one of those cool chairs that kind of wobble over and over so I can kind of move around while I'm drawing, and it's broken, so I have to buy a new one. So bear with me for a moment. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so for this character, we're going to create the circle for the head first. And of course, the circle is going to be right below the hair. So right around there, and to the sides of the face, right behind the hair here, and right behind the hair right here. So now we can kind of imagine that there's a circle around here. Try and figure out, where it would be placed. It might be a little bit higher up or towards the side. Just be open to adjusting it as you go. Or if you have a circle guide, see if you can find a circle that fits right into into that point or to that space. Now we're going to draw a line down the middle, create the shape of the face. Her chin is higher up than Deku's. I'm going to draw the neck coming out from there. Collar. Let's go ahead and draw the shoulders, the edge of the shoulders here. Let's draw that circle underneath it. The other shoulders here, another circle. And of course, let's start drawing the lines for the shoulders that come out like that. And then we're going to see if we can fit a rib cage or chest area in between. So this might work right here. Maybe a little bit bigger. So it comes out almost to the edge right here. There you go. So it's on the edge of the jacket here and here. So we're going to have to erase some of that. Yeah, and that's just a little bit bigger than this circle. So we draw the line down the middle because everything looks like it's centered towards the viewer. Then we're going to space down another, maybe a finger distance from the first circle to the second, and another finger distance down to the next one. This, again, is trial and error. So let's start with the circle. The circle, you can tell, is between this part of the hips here and this part of the hips. And just kind of see if you can visualize where a circle might be right around there. Maybe a little bit higher up. I'm going to bring it a little bit higher up. Maybe like that. So let's see what that looks like. Again, trial and error. And that's how you really learn how to do this. Same with times tables, right? Same with the ABCs, repetition. We draw a line straight down this, the hips right there, the circle. Let's go ahead and draw the edges of the body. So it's going to come in from the shoulder up here, across down the edge of this circle for the chest, in to the stomach area, and then comes back out over to the other circle. This one's going to come in a little bit more. So this one is scrunched in more than this one. So this one's going to come from way out here, in, and then out. See the difference there? So let's go ahead and draw the legs. So again, the outer part of the legs start at the outer part of the circle. So we're going to draw a line down across the middle. And this line comes out down to about here. And if you kind of measure it out, this is usually about the same distance as the shoulder to the elbow. And then the other line for the inner part of the leg comes from the bottom of the circle for the hips right there. Same thing for this one. It comes down and curves out towards the right a little bit, and then there's the knee. And then we put the inner part of the shin, or the lower part, and then the outer part where the calf is protruding a little bit. There's a bump there, it comes in. And same thing for this one, it almost bends inward, and then the outer part of the calf comes out further. And then we can go ahead and design a triangle, one for the shoes right there. So it's a triangle like this. And then within that, you can start designing like that, and their leg comes out from there. And then you have the other part of the shoe coming out there like that. So of course, the triangle is kind of like a guide as to where to put things. And then once you're done with the design, you can erase the triangle. So I'll get a little bit more in depth with that when we draw it. So you can even see the edge of that shoe there creates pretty much a triangle there. And then we'll do the arms next. So the arms, we're going to place the hand first. So I'm going to draw a shape for the hand, which is kind of like a block shape, a rectangle like this, with maybe 3 or 4 lines across it, 3 lines up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the other hand is right here outside of her shoulder and a little bit lower. So it's not in line with her shoulder, it's a little bit lower. So it's right around here. We have the W for the palm again. And then, of course, if you want to put the fingers in, one way over here, one way over there, about the same distance, same equal distance on both sides. Then you have the 3 fingers, 1, 2. These are similar. The ring finger comes out a little bit further at an angle there. And then, of course, you draw a little line in there for the wrinkle inside the palm there. Okay, so now we can go ahead and connect the hands to the shoulder up here. So you can see the edges of the line for the upper arm here and here. And of course, you know that the upper arm at the wrist is thinner, closer together. As it goes to the elbow, it gets wider. See that? This from here to here compared from there to there. And then when it meets up with the upper arm, they usually have some kind of overlap here this way, where it shows the bottom, the forearm being in front, or overlapped with the line coming down this way. And that way it looks like the upper arm is in front and the arm is going away from the viewer. In this case, we don't have any difference because, of course, the character is looking directly at you. So there's no perspective here, but there is some here. You can see that this line for the forearm overlaps the upper arm. So let's go ahead and draw the 2 lines for the arms, and we'll do the fabric a little bit later. 1, 2, and then all the way down to here, 3, 4. Again here, from here, it's going to come down towards the hips, 1 and 2, and then of course you can draw this kind of curve. And then the upper arm, 3 and 4. And of course her hair comes out to the sides, 1, and then there's like a W on this side, 1, 2. And then it comes down to the ears, over the shoulders here, the bangs on the sides. And then right over the top of the head, there's a smooth curve all the way out to the edge and then back in, around right below the ears or below the chin. And then you can draw the back of the hair here, going around behind the back of the head. And of course you have the eyes. And the character, she's looking up a little bit, so we might move all these elements of the face up a little bit for her character. And then we put in the jacket if you want. And then the bottom of the jacket, probably a little bit below the middle of the circle. So 1, 2. If you think of it as a pattern, it's kind of like this pattern, right? It comes up like that. And then you can erase the line in the middle of the circle. Start erasing the circle there, all the circles you're working with. And then, of course, you can see everything coming together. And then the dress or the skirt, I would draw a line coming out, continuing this angle, and one continuing this angle out this way. So it's going to curve out this way. And then you draw kind of like a curve, you know, a little bit lower than the jacket, or however, you know, amount of distance you want to leave there. And then you can go ahead and erase everything inside of there and start with the pattern for the lines that come down. And of course, they're going to overlap. So you're going to draw a few overlap lines. I think there's one there that kind of bumps in a little bit, and I think there's an overlap here, there. So it's going to turn into something like this. Here's the guideline. The ones in the middle are pretty much even, and then on the edges, they start to kind of overlap this way a little bit to create that kind of curve going around the back. All right, so now that we remove the cellophane, we have this kind of a pose, right? This is pretty similar. All right, so let's go ahead and start drawing on the board here, and I'll kind of get a little bit more in depth on how to draw these things. So I'm going to start off with deku. And if you are following along and you want to share what you drew, you can always tag Anime Your Way on Instagram. You just tag @Anime Your Way on Instagram. All right, so let me move Seku up here. Let me get my new markers. Actually, I'm going to move him so he's over here. No, you know what? Sorry, that was better over here. Okay. So for Deku, we're going to start off with a circle right around here. I'm going to check that as I go, and the way I check is to look at it from a distance. So I'm going to lean back over here. And yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Not for what we're doing, it's good enough. All right, so let me go ahead and draw a dot in where I think the middle is, probably around there somewhere. So if you want to have the whole body on your 8.5 by 11 paper, you might want to use, let me see if I can find it here. Sorry, my studio is a mess. I had just something like, no, I just don't have it right here with me. If you have like a salsa container or anything like that, that would work really well. And you could put that right up here, use that for the first circle, and you could even use it for the second and third circle, and then you can fit your whole character, or at least this much of your character on your paper. Okay. All right, so now we're going to draw a line down the middle, and then create the face. And I'm going to draw the neck, right? If you want, we can start creating the details in the face. So we can draw the line through the middle of the circle, and then right below it, if you're using a CD size circle, which is what we do sometimes, what I do or what I teach, then you would use about a finger distance underneath that if you use a CD. So if you use a smaller circle, let's say like a salsa container, you're going to want maybe like the tip of the pinky for the measurement, right, for the distance, and then draw another line right around here. So you can kind of eyeball it. You can tell it's not even halfway from that middle of the circle to the bottom. It's about a third of the way from here to here, right? So think about it that way, whatever helps you to visualize it. And let's go ahead and draw in the eyes, and they're going to be closer together. They're ovals, and I know that the eyelids are at an angle, cutting off the eyeball at the top, so it makes them look angry. And it curves around. I'm going to erase the outside of those lines here. And it curves around. That's the main thing. That's what makes his eyes look the way they look. Okay, so now let me put in some design for the eyeballs, and then the nose. I can't really tell. That print is really bad. I'm going to go ahead and just do a dot for now. I'm going to be on the safe side. Let me go ahead and draw in the eyebrows. Okay, so now we can erase the circle, the bottom of the circle, where it would be right under the nose there. And then the mouth looks like he's doing something like maybe like that, or maybe no, maybe it looks like a little bit more defiant. Maybe comes up a little bit more, and then down on the edges a little bit more here. No, I can't figure out the way his mouth is from here. I'm just going to go ahead and do, yeah, like an M. All right, I'm going to leave it like that. And I know he has his, I'm going to add a few more. All right, so now let's go ahead and draw in the collar right around there somewhere. So we know it's about, a little bit below the chin there. And then we can go ahead and draw the shoulder line coming out. This one's going to be right next to his chin, and this one's going to be further out. So there's going to be one right next to his chin, right around here somewhere. So it leads right into there. And then the other one is going to be a little further out. So you can see it's kind of under his ear, which would be out here somewhere. Half of a heart, half of a heart. So maybe about the same, a little bit lower than this circle. So if you go straight across, it'd be maybe around here somewhere, but a little lower, probably around there. Make sure it looks like it's about the same size. And then this line, we're going to curve up a little bit and over. So we're going to kind of make it look like it's hunched over a little bit. So we're going to kind of, we're not going to dip down like this. We're not going to go down and out this way. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to bump up and then straight over like that. Okay. So now we can go ahead and draw that circle between the two shoulders, right through the collar there, create a shape around here. This is where it gets a little tricky, but all I can say is the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. And the best thing about practicing and making these decisions is that you'll find your own way to do it. Okay. So this would definitely put the back of the body way back here by the shoulder, which is what I want. So I'm going to save that right there. Yeah, and then this one is pretty good because then let me bring this up a little bit. Because then it looks like I can kind of make that line coming in and then back out for the outside of the body. So the third circle would be kind of under here, about the same distance. Maybe see if I can, I don't have enough space to draw the whole thing, but I'm going to go ahead and draw. You probably can't see that. Let me bring it down a bit. There you go. So you can see that. Okay. So you have the third circle here. So we probably won't have room for the legs. So anyway, so this is going to come in, not so much, no, not so far in how I drew it. Right into the middle there where the stomach is, comes in and then bends back out. And then from here, we can continue it down towards the bottom of the circle, and that's where his leg pops out here. So this two package thing for his belt is right around here, and his belt comes across here somewhere. So we kind of know where we are placing things for now. We draw the belt in there. And then the other two on the other side of his body, this is going to curve inward. And then right here, it's going to pop out this way, and then his leg is going to come out to the other side there. Okay, and a big part of this is just being patient with it and understanding it's not going to look great until it's almost done. And when you get better at it, you'll know how to visualize it a little bit better. So that way you make less, less adjustments as you get better. Something like that. Okay, so now we're going to draw his hand, which is going to be out here somewhere. So you can see the circles here and the hands kind of at an angle coming out this way. So somewhere around here. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then we can draw that shape, the design that we did earlier for the hand. So it's going to come the back of the hands out this way at an angle. I'm just going to make a decision and just draw it there. And it's going to come up to here where that knuckle bends over. I'm going to choose the top of this oval. So it's going to come out. And then now I'm getting a feel for the shape of it now. So I'm going to draw the other lines. 1, 2, 3, and then one back here. That's a little shorter. 1, 2, 3, and then one back here. That's shorter. And these two can kind of bend or angle downward a little bit more. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last one here, we can draw the edge of it. It's a really small detail, but it gives it a different look. You bend it over, so it looks like the fingers wrinkling over the knuckle there, like that. And then you can draw a few lines coming out at an angle. And then, of course, you draw the palm under there. And then the thumb around up here at the top, and it comes over right into those two first fingers there. And now you have his kind of glove look. And then we can draw a wider curve out here that comes in and draw these kind of designs that come out on the edge of the glove there. And then, of course, we add that cylinder behind it. So we follow this line, right? We can imagine a line coming out this way and just kind of continue it out this way. And then another line might come out further up at an angle, because we know that at the wrist, it gets thinner. And then as it goes away towards the shoulder, it gets, the elbow. Sorry about that. I'm getting my words tied up. It's thinner at the wrist, wider at the elbow, and then it goes up to the shoulder up here. See that? So this line would come out maybe at more of an angle like this. And then not too far out, because you want to draw another curve like this at the edge here. So it really kind of shows that that is a three-dimensional shape that's bigger out here and then thinner as it gets to the wrist. And again, the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. And that's pretty much the secret to coming up with something original, unique looking. Okay. All we're doing is really just translating what happens in real life onto paper. If you're doing, a comic book, it'd be doing that. If you're doing music, it'd be, translating emotions and, stories into choreography, or if you're doing dance. So everything, everything related to art has to do with how you view the real world and how you translate that into your art that you're working on. So, all right, so now we're going to draw the, I'm going to bring this in further in. I'm going to draw that curve closer, maybe around here, really close to there. And I think that's going to probably fit a little bit better for what I'm doing, because it's got to come up to here now. Other arm comes through here, right? But you don't see it back here because that's covering, it's being covered by the shirt or the suit. Like that. Okay. Now he has some design here for the elbow. I can't really design it here. It's kind of limited to what I can draw here, but I can draw kind of like this stripe that curves upward. Remember, that curves upward this way, not that way, because your line of sight is right here and you're looking at the character directly on like that. So everything below this line, you're going to start seeing curves that come up like this and like that. See that? Or on this side like that, like that. The only reason that this belt is not curved is because, like I said, he's leaning back with his upper body, but that he's leaning forward. So you're kind of overcompensating. You're pushing forward at the hip area. So then that belt is kind of, instead of looking like this, is being pushed forward. So it looks like it's straight across. So it's kind of a, the more you analyze, the way people stand and posing, and if you start taking maybe classes in high school, college, or if you already are in college taking classes, you can, definitely learn about that and, the parts of the body and how they kind of, interact and move around. All right, so the next part we're going to do is the other hand. It's going to be, looks like that palm is right here, right next to the bottom of that circle for the chest area, right around here by the stomach area. So around here somewhere. And it looks like it does cover the bottom of that shoulder. So right around, so that gives me a better idea. I'm going to draw that W kind of large, 1, 2. And if you're not worried about erasing, just go ahead and draw it until you can, until it fits all these criteria, that it's, right next to the circle there, right around the edge of the bottom of the circle here. Not really the bottom, maybe towards the edge, towards the bottom. Okay, so then now I'm going to see if I can draw this line, how it angles upward and over. So it's going to be more flat. So 1, 2, like that. And then I'm going to draw this part of that palm coming up over. And then the other one here. And then this is going to kind of come straight down. And then I can throw in the thumb first, at least start with that. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and draw the pinky and work my way up that way. So remember, the lines for all the fingertips come at an angle. They go across the inside part of the thumb here. So it comes out through there. So right around there. So That's where the fingers are. So you have the pinky that comes out at the bottom, and it's right in the middle of that W for the palm. So we know exactly where it is, and we draw it right here, 1. And then you erase everything inside of it. And if you want, you could draw maybe a curve up here at the top. So for the knuckle that it comes over, you can show where it goes over. Then we have the next finger, the ring finger, and that looks like it overlaps this curve that's in here, right? So it comes out to there, but it doesn't go outside of the thumb. So right around there somewhere. And it looks like it, yeah, it comes up to that line there. You can even draw a bump right there. Erase everything inside of it. Third finger is going to be here. It's going to looks like it kind of raises up a little bit, and then so it comes up over this line and then straight out, and then at the very end it kind of pivots down just a little bit here. So it crosses over the edge of the hand here just a tiny little bit. And then it kind of comes up, maybe 1 wrinkle, across, 2 wrinkles, and then down like that, 3rd wrinkle. It looks like the glove is a heavy glove, so it has the stitching that goes across the edge there, something like that. And then the last finger, the index finger, is going to pop up from back here and copy the same pattern as this finger here. So it's going to come up, straight out, and then back down, and then back over across underneath. And we followed that guideline, or pretty much we followed that guideline. This finger can probably be further in, maybe around here somewhere. Yeah, so yeah, it's all about adjusting it as you go. And then you'll know it so well someday that you could just draw it without worrying about it because you've done it so many times. Okay, now I'm going to bring this over a little bit, maybe up. Looks like it's a little too far down. That's a little bit better. I'm going to separate these 2 fingers so they don't touch. That's probably better right there. Okay, I'm going to draw the outside of the glove now. So it's going to come out from here. It's going to do this kind of curve all the way around, a little bit higher up, and then kind of come across back behind it like that. Then I'm going to draw the stripes that go across like this. Get that ready. Then we draw the back of the upper part of the arm here up to the shoulder. So it's going to come out from here. And we know the other line is going to come up from here where the wrist is and come out maybe this way a little bit. We'll get turn that into a tube at the edge of there. So it looks like a tube, right? 3-dimensional coming towards you. And then we can draw from that edge a line from here down to here. That's pretty straightforward. Look at that. Now we have a bald Deku who do this awesome, awesome pose. So let's go ahead and put in the shape of the hair. Again, the part for Deku's hair is going to be above this eyeball, so above here somewhere. We're just going to draw out the basic shape of the hair, and we'll break it down into smaller shapes, smaller elements. It's going to come across the brow, maybe down over the ear, and then it's going to come up all the way up over his head. And then, of course, it's going to come down. If you follow this dot out right around there somewhere, it would bump out for that part of the hair here, and the other side would be down here somewhere. And it comes out a little bit over the ear and then down. So it might be something like this. Again, you can, simplify it or see if you can, streamline how it looks. And then once you put in the hair designs, we can kind of make it up as we go along. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can draw some underneath and overlapping. Behind the ear, one pops out behind the ear, you can do that. The ones over the eyes, you can start doing this kind of stuff where it looks like a flame or a brush, right? However you want to describe it, or a curved thorn kind of a thing, right? So get used to drawing these kind of shapes that are kind of, based on how you move your hand naturally, right? When you do the curves or when you kind of move your hand forward and backward, kind of like that. So drawing, one of my favorite things is like drawing smoke. When I do draw smoke, kind of creating this natural flow of how smoke would go up in through the air, things like that. So again, trying to address how things look in real life on your paper or painting or whatever you're doing. And then we're going to draw the inner part of the hair here for the bangs. The front comes over. We can now erase the circle right there. And we draw some other spikes here. And then, of course, we can draw other spikes kind of coming over to kind of show the shadowing effect. Maybe there's a few spikes that come over. And like you draw different parts of the hair that kind of lead over from one part to the other. And of course, when you add the shadowing, that's when everything really starts looking more like a unique design. And of course, creating these patterns, that's what a character designer does. The way you draw the patterns in the hair, the way you draw the shadows, the way the hair breaks up, all those things are part of just coming up with unique solutions to a design for a character. We draw this kind of big shape down here that gets put into the shadow here area. So we have something like that. I'm going to pop this hair farther up. Yeah, so that's a little bit better. And then this one comes out here. All right, so let me erase now the circle for the shoulder. Let me put in the design. There's a wrinkle here. And that's what makes your costume look more like fabric when you're putting these wrinkles in specific areas. Let's draw this thing here. I still don't know what it's called. Unfortunately, I don't get a chance to watch many shows, but I have to start watching this one because I've heard it's really good. I've seen some of the videos online, and it's pretty awesome. All right, so there's a difference between this angle and the one that goes around back behind his jaw like that. We can erase all of this here and just remember what we're doing. We're drawing this edge here. Remember, it's going to be a little bit further from the chin. So I'm going to move the chin up a little bit, actually. And that'll give me some room right under here. Like that. And he has a line that comes out this way across this triangle shape. So it looks like a triangle right here with this point here. And then it follows this edge here and follows this edge over. Like that. I'm assuming something like this. And like that, it comes out, and then of course down at the same angle here. And it looks like there's a few circles or holes in there, something like that, I would imagine. And of course you have his neck right here, the other part of his neck right here, and of course you have his ear. Yeah. And then of course the back of this, I don't know if he has a back right there. It looks like it's kind of like a cape or something that I've seen. All right, so now we can design like that. And then you have this padding over his shoulder that comes down, or part of the costume that comes down, comes right behind his fingers there. Same thing on the other side. Like that. And then of course you could draw the edge of the shoulder coming out from there and around, so you can kind of erase this. And then there you go. That's your edge of your costume there on that side there, or your shoulder. We put in design 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's going to be this design for the costume. Same thing on the other side. This one comes in a little further in. And it's right under the thumb. That's pretty good like And then we have, and at the bottom, you can draw part of the fabric folding upward and out and then back in, like a wrinkle, and maybe a few smaller ones going up here like that. And it looks like he's really kind of pushing forward and kind of wrinkling the fabric here. And then back here as well, you could do another bump out here and make a shadow, this kind of shadow pattern that comes in. So now it really looks like your character has some kind of realistic looking wrinkles, right? I'm just erasing some I don't need. So got this part here. This part is pretty much done. Let's put the outside part of that, part of his costume here by the shoulder. It looks like it comes over and then there's some design here. Flattens out. It comes over the back side. And then you have the other upper part of that, I guess, brace that he has. Something like that. Okay. And of course, he has that design here. Cool. I think we got it. So there is, let me move this over a little bit. No, that looks pretty good. I'm going to bring this in a little bit further. Bring the ear in. I'm going to bring this edge in a little bit more. And this ear in. Now that's a little bit better. Yeah, so if I did it again, I might draw the head maybe a little bit smaller, but I mean, it's good for what it is, you know, in terms of learning how to draw the character and put it together. So if you wanted to, you could maybe bring the shoulders out a little further like this, and you can kind of play around with that to kind of to show the other parts being a little bit larger and kind of showing this is a little bit smaller. Maybe you can bring the hair in a little bit, not so high up. That will help. This one I'm going to bring it out a little bit more. That. And then, of course, this hand I'll bring down more. Draw the glove under there. And then the arm back here. Yeah, and then what I'll do maybe for this part back here is I'll bring it more straight down, and maybe I'll bring that back of the body up to here, that bump on the outside. So just bring it out a little bit more. And then the leg I'll bring back here out a little bit further at the back there. If you want, you can start drawing the part for the bottom part of the hips and then the legs. Yeah, that looks a little bit better, right? So we kind of overcompensated some parts, right? We made some parts a little bit bigger and stretched it out a little bit further to kind of make this look a little bit more, more proportional, let's say, to what we're doing. So that's how you can kind of fix it. You can even bring this part of the hair in a little bit more. All right. Cool. So let me go ahead and replace this with the new board, and we will draw. Let me see what time it is right now. 5 p.m. right now. Sorry about that. Pardon me. Okay. Let me start with the other board here. All right, so for Ochako, we're going to start off with the circle. Let me bring her picture over here a little bit further out. And so we're going to start off with the circle. I'm going to draw a little smaller. That is not working. Let me see if I can get another marker. Where did I put that? Sorry about that. Pardon me for a moment. I thought I had some markers here. Maybe not. I'll have to look for them later. Technical difficulties. Okay, let's see if we can work with this one here. Nope. That does not work. Maybe this one. Yeah, okay, that's good for now. Okay, so let's work on Ochaku. We start off with a circle up here for the face. Her chin is a little bit higher up. More of a rounded face. Like that. All right, so now I'm going to draw her. Remember, her face is going to be a little bit higher up. So her nose, instead of being at the bottom of her circle here, the nose is going to be a little bit higher up here. The mouth is going to be maybe here. And the eye is going to be, here's that line, maybe right above it. Comes to an angle or point back there. And then, of course, it kind of disappears here. And then, of course, she has her eyebrows up here. And 2 eyelashes coming out. Maybe I'll bring the nose even a little bit higher up. So if we erase all of that, now we have her face kind of where we want it right there. I'm going to draw the teeth and then the tongue back here behind it. And then our hair maybe here. That. All right, so before I go any further, I'll start with the body here. So let me draw the collar. And then it's going to come down and then out. It looks like both arms are about the same level. Maybe this shoulder's up a little bit higher up. So maybe it's going to be more like that angle, just a little bit. So like that. And then maybe this one might come up to here. That's why I use those guidelines to kind of give me an idea of where it's going to be. Then I can see if I can fit in that circle right on the edge there. It looks like it's not too far out past the face, probably around here somewhere. So maybe I'm going to just make a decision and put it right there. The other one, I'm going to see if I can replicate that on the other side, because they look like they're pretty evenly spaced across the body. So maybe even further in on this side. Maybe like that. Okay, so between these two, and for this circle for the chest, it came out a little further into the circles, something like that. So different body shapes, body types will have different types of, shapes and components, right? This line goes straight down the middle and looks like it kind of angles, right? Just a little this way. So it's not perfectly straight up and down like this, but kind of angled that way a little bit. That gives you a guide to kind of how the body is going to be positioned. And of course, this one looks like it comes kind of straight down. So we could just kind of pretend it kind of goes down like that. And this other one where the stomach is right around there, we know that because it's right below the chest. And then we could draw the third circle about the same size for the hips. And then this one's going to come in from here just a little bit and then back out. I think maybe this one should be a little bit higher up. Maybe something like that. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, so we know that the middle of that circle is there. The skirt is going to be below that. So the jacket's here, and the skirt is going to be down here. And then we draw the legs from here coming out this way. And then this one is going to kind of come around. Maybe this should be a little bit wider right there. And then right to where the knees are, probably around here somewhere and here. And then 1 and 2. Okay. Then we draw in the jacket, the outside. For this one here, you might draw a wrinkle here on the edge. coming in like that. Then draw in that design for the bottom of the jacket in the middle. So it's going to come up like this. 1, 2. Erase all of that circle there. Everything over here. And now we have the jacket, edge of the pocket here, and button here. Another button here, and then we have the opening of the jacket and the collar up here. So I'm going to draw the shape of the collar first, and then I'll work in the rest of the stuff after. So this comes in, and then her hand is going to be over here by her waist, over by this button here at the bottom here. So right around there. You know that this line comes up and then down, goes across, 1, 2, 3, 4. Goes over, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's going to have a line that breaks in the middle. 1, 2, and 3. You can bring that one in, the pinky. That's good for that hand. The next one is going to be way over here, somewhere around here, and the W is going to be here. So we put the thumb in there first. I'm going to bring it over just a little bit. Around here. So we have the thumb that comes up right to the edge of that shoulder there. Then we have the first finger, index finger, and the pinky is way out here, almost the same angle, but on the opposite side. It looks like they have fun when they're drawing the fingers. They're not making it look perfect. They're kind of having some fun with it. And that's part of it. And that kind of goes in with the style of the character, the decisions of the artist. And then you erase the lines that overlap at the bottom of the finger, so it looks like they're kind of going away from you in 3 dimensions. You can draw the wrinkles on the inside of the fingers there. You can even draw the wrinkles here and then here, towards the top and then towards the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to draw the shoulder probably down here by the stomach. And this shoulder might be by the, the elbow by the stomach, and this elbow a little bit higher up, maybe over here. So we got the outside of the arm, then from the wrist out. Something like that. I'm going to make the shoulder a little bit bigger. That's probably better right there. And then from the other side, 1, and then from here it's going to come out, further out. See that? So you're naturally making that forearm kind of go from the wrist outward to the elbow area. I'm going to bring this up here a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to put in the jacket design, overlapping the structure that I've created for the body. I'm going to move this up a little bit further. It's going to be up here. 1, 2. I might even move the whole hand up a little bit. I'm going to bring this up. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. One, 2, 3, 4. And the wrist is going to be 1 and 2. That's looks a little bit better. So now let me draw the sleeve, which is going to come out almost horizontal, right above here somewhere. And then it's going to come in, bend upward a little bit, and then back over here. You can use that line. Just erase whatever's inside of it there. And it looks like there's a wrinkle that you don't see too much, but it comes down and then over and then back around and underneath, like that. And then maybe another wrinkle here. Let's go ahead and draw the outside of the jacket. It's going to kind of curve up to there. Erase everything inside of there, and then we create, you know what, let me bring this in a little bit more, like that. There you go. And then the 2 stripes here. 1, 2. Again, everything you're looking at over here below her face is kind of curved upward like this, and this one's kind of curved like that. Her shirt, her sleeve of her shirt underneath, you can put that in there. All right, so now we're going to draw some wrinkles here, 1, and then a bump here, and then a sharp bump here, And then it kind of goes up to the circle there. So maybe we can move this up a little further right here at the base of this circle where it comes into the arm. 1. And now we can draw some other wrinkles. 1 here coming out. And then let's erase this whole circle. And then her chest comes out here a little bit. And then there's a line that overlaps here and it comes up to the shoulder right up here. And this is where you have, where if you erase all this stuff, you have the edge of the shoulder for the jacket. Like that. And then another wrinkle here, there. And this wrinkle comes in like that. So that's pretty good for now. Let's draw in this, that shoulder design or lapel she has. 1, and then the other side might be here. Like that. All right, so let's draw the other arm. So it might come up to about here somewhere and then up to there. So we're going to draw this 1, 2, and then from here, from this part of the hand, 1, curve around and then back down, 2. So now we know we can move this in a little bit right up to here. Erase this. It's all about adjusting and being comfortable with adjusting. This part of the chest comes out over, just a little bit over the arm here. And then it leads into this curve that comes into here. And you can erase this part of you draw a shadow design here across this whole thing. Right, so it makes it look like the shadow there. Let's erase all this stuff here, this circle here, and the edge of this circle. So we have this whole design, open area here for design. Now let's draw the upper part of that chest area there. It comes in, it stops here, and then there's another line that goes up to the shoulder. So it stops here, and there's another line that goes up to the shoulder, just like this one. It comes in and then out like that. And then draw another few wrinkles here, and then we can draw the bump for the wrinkles in the jacket, the sleeve. 1 here, and then that's pretty much it, just 1, and it comes down into the next part. Now the wrinkles could come down 1 and 2, almost like a sideways letter V, like that. 1, 2. And let's draw the sleeve here. So we're going to draw kind of like a diamond. 1, 2, 3, 4 behind it, and then it's going to come into here. Same thing with this one, into there. And just erase a little bit of the edge at the top there and kind of bring it down. Now we're creating this kind of 3-dimensional look. We can shade in or draw in actually first the sleeve for her shirt around the inside of there. And then you can kind of color in the very edge out here. And then of course, follow up with the design or the lines for the jacket. Now let's draw the collar. Oh no, let's draw her skirt. So 1, 2, and then erase everything inside of it. And there's going to be how many divisions? 1 in the middle, 2 in the middle, and then 2 on the edges and 2 on the further out edges. So it's going to be 1 line right down here. And it looks like it separates right at the bottom, kind of like a small, hopefully you can see that there. Yeah. 1, 2, just a small upside down letter V comes across. And then the next line is going to be over here under this part of the jacket here. And it's going to come out a little bit more. So here's the edge of the jacket now. Right down under the middle of it, right around here. That's the next line for the skirt. And then one that comes out here further. And there's one that comes out even further at the edge here. So we're going to go ahead and draw this curve. Meets up right here. Now, this one is going to come up here a little bit and come out and then curve up this way also. So they're all kind of curving this way. Like that, at the bottom. So 1, 2, and then 1 out here, 3. And then if you erase the leg underneath it, you have the whole skirt design. Now on the other side, it's going to come out this way. So we could probably move the edge of the leg out a little bit here, just a little bit. The other part of the leg is there. And then, again, it's going to come up just a little bit, step up, and 1 more at the edge. And there you go. Now you have her skirt. And of course, you can continue this line down and erase the division line you did for the knees. And now you have her legs there. Okay. Now let's put in, now that we have everything else, let's go ahead and put in the collar. The collar is going to be, let's start here. Erase this top of the circle, put in the collar that we have. And let's go ahead and draw from the collar right in the middle. It's going to be like a letter A. And then, except you don't connect the bottom across, you just draw right there, that line in the middle, and then bring it up on the edges. So it turns into the top of the tie, like this part here, right here. So again, I'm going to draw it here. 1, 2, and then right in the middle where you draw the line in the middle of the letter A and then bring it up. I'm going to make it wider. Let me redo that. That's better. And then bring these all the way to the edges of that line. And we started here and here. And right where it hits here and here, where it intersects here and here, you're just going to draw a line that comes almost at the same angle. 1, 2, out just a little bit. And then on this side, you're going to bring it not too far out, just a small length out this way, and then bring it in to there. Same thing on this one, try to replicate that on this side, bring it down over. So this one's in front of this one. See how I overlap this one in front of that one, right? And then draw the top part of that collar from way up here. You can round out the line around the top of the collar and make it come up and down like this. And then you could draw the top of the collar way up here as it comes out and then back into the middle of this line between here and here. The middle would be around there somewhere. From here to here, the middle is around there. So you have something like that. And then of course, when you put the design in there, let me bring this a little bit lower. There you go. Then you can go ahead and draw your bar of color here and here. And the other bar here and here. All right, we have a bald Ochako. So now let's go ahead and draw the hair. So we have the bangs, this one here, and the W on the side there that comes out to the ear. Now the two bangs that come over the ears, it's going to be here. And all you have to do is remember it comes down and over into this collar part of the jacket. So it's going to come down and swoop over this way. You can create how you want it to swoop. And just make sure it comes up, back up right next to it, right where you started, right around there somewhere. Same thing with this one. Something like that. And then erase inside the bangs. And now we can start at the top above the head here, draw a smooth curve that kind of comes out and then in, right around where the ears would be, way out here, then in. And again, you'll find your own way to do it. Doesn't touch the shoulders, a little bit higher up, maybe like that. Trial and error. It's a beautiful thing. All right, so go ahead and erase the line you don't need over here, the circle actually that you had up here. And then you could draw a few lines, maybe one here. Here's where the magic happens. When you draw this line right over here that comes and intersects this bang that comes down here, right there, that's what starts making it look like it's layered. And you have these outer parts that come way out to the side there. And another. And of course, you can kind of, adjust the outside edges once you've done this a few times, and then you can kind of get more familiar with how this hair is going to kind of look. Looks like it comes further out, down, and then comes in like that. Maybe like that. Yeah, that's a little bit better, I think. And then on the inside, you have the lines that come in and out like that. And on this side of the chin, like that on both sides. So 1, 2. And you can color that in, and that'll make it look like the back of the hair. Maybe you can bring this up a little bit further up. Just make sure it looks smooth all the way around. And of course, the lines come out like that. And what makes it look more like Ochako is the blushy blush cheeks that she has, or the rosy cheeks that she has. So you can color those in. I think we are pretty much done. This has been pretty cool. So we have a like that. All right, I will be doing more. Let me color these in here to give some texture. I will be doing more live streams on this later, different characters. Oh, I forgot the tie. That 1 and 2, and then the circle in the middle here. Yeah, I'll be doing more of these. For now, I'm going to focus on more construction design, videos. So I'm going to be showing how to draw the, like I said, the face in upward view, downward view, and straight forward view. And if you do want to share what you did today, if you did follow along, feel free to tag Anime Your Way Official on Instagram. And if you are on TikTok, you can follow Anime Your Way on TikTok. And hope to see you next Friday for the next live stream. Oh, and also next Friday, I am also pleased to present or to announce it's the relaunch of the website Anime Your Way. I'm going to have tips and tricks on there. I'm going to have resources for how to, learn about the history of anime. I'm going to have a schedule on there of live streams that I'm going to be doing, and later on down the line, where I'm going to be actually visiting in person and teaching these programs, because I do that around the country. So thank you so much, everyone, and I hope to see you next Friday for the relaunch and live stream of Anime Your Way.